In this tutorial, we'll be covering setting up your own main menu level inside of Story Framework and using Story Framework's main menu overlay or widget that gets created on screen when your player starts the game inside of your own level. So generally when creating your own level for a main menu, you would be using this level as the background for your main menu. So we're going to keep that principle in mind when continuing with this tutorial. So let's jump right into it. Inside our content browser, if we go over to Story Framework, Core, Example, Level, we then have a example main menu level. So this is the level that we're inside of over here. We then have a camera actor set up inside of this level. This serves as the perspective that the player will view, or the camera that the player will look through when they are inside of the main menu. So we can see if we go ahead and pilot this camera, this would be the background that we see when we start our game and we are pushed into the main menu. So we can go ahead and just demonstrate this quickly if we go ahead and hit play. So this is the background that your player will see behind our main menu. Okay, so let's go ahead and create a new level. You might already have a level that you would like to convert to your main menu or convert as your main menu. In this example, I'm just going to be using the default open world level. So we can go ahead and hit create. Now inside of your level, you'll want to find a point in your level where you'd like the main menu camera to be positioned. In this example, I'm just simply going to have the camera sort of looking over the mountainscape in front of us here. So once you have your camera angle, once you're looking in the direction that you'd want your camera to be, you can go up on top over here to the 3 lines icon, the drop down. Then we can find the create camera here button, and we're looking for the camera actor. So this will create a camera actor where the viewport perspective is. So if we go ahead and pilot this, we can see we're now looking through this camera. We can adjust some values in the details panel of this camera. We can position it a little bit better. We're going to crank the FOV quite far down. And we can change some post-process filters over here as well. Now once we have our camera set up, we can start piloting our camera. We can then right click on our camera actor and find the transform, and we can lock this actor's movement. This is so that we do not accidentally move this camera around when we are adjusting other things inside the level. So now that we have our camera actor inside of our level, let's now hop into setting up all the functionality for creating the main menu and some other cool effects for the camera which can be added to. Now with our camera actor selected in our level, we can go up to our level blueprint. And we can right click in this blueprints and create a reference to this camera actor. This will be used in a second to demonstrate some cool camera effects that we can use. Off of the event begin play, we are going to use this camera actor reference for the view target too. So off of the event begin play, we're going to search for a get player controller reference first before we drag off of the event begin play. Off of this player controller, we can search for a set view target with blend. We can then plug this into our event begin play, and we can we can connect the new view target into our camera actor reference. Let's hit compile and save. Then under the list of world blueprints button, the same button where we find our level blueprint, we can go down to our world override, our game mode world override. We can select a game mode based class, and we can select the main menu game mode from Story Framework. Let's hit save again. We can go ahead and test this and hit play. As we can see, we're now viewing our level through that camera actor that we set up, and we have our main menu overlaying on top of the scene. Next, we need to change the level that gets opened from the pause menu. As now that we've changed the main menu level, we also need to change the level that the pause menu opens. So inside Story Framework, we can go to Menus, User Interface, and we're looking for the pause menu widget. We can enlarge on this, go to the graph, we're looking for the button pressed events, and then on the quit to menu pressed. We're just going to change this to the name of the level that we are now using. In my example, this is simply just untitled. So we can go ahead and paste this in, untitled. Let's compile and save. We can now quickly go ahead and test this out. If we hit new game, we get loaded into SF's example map. If we hit pause and save and quit, we'll then go back to our main menu. So that basically covers the entire process of setting up your own camera actor inside of your level and having the main menu widget overlay on top of that perspective of the camera. We can also just quickly touch on some cool effects that we can add to the camera. This is obviously not mandatory, this is more optional, but this is here if you'd like to add it. So again, let's go to open level. Let's open up that example main menu level once again. Let's go to the level blueprint of this example main menu. We can then copy the play sound 2D and the custom main menu camera shake. And then once again back into our level that we were just initially working in. We can go ahead to open level blueprint again and paste this in. So the play sound 2D, this is just simply playing some ambient sounds. This will be relative to your project. And we will take a look at the custom main menu camera shakes now. So we can go ahead and copy this camera actor reference that we created earlier and jump into this custom main menu graph or custom main menu camera shake graph. Here we can just simply replace the main menu camera actor reference where needed. And then we can also go ahead and create any missing variables. And finally, inside of our timeline over here, we do need to set up a flow track once again. When you copy over timelines, they do delete any track that is included. So we can just call this track the alpha track. It's not letting us because there's a pin connected to a bad reference of the alpha track. So this is just a regular float track. Go ahead and rename this alpha. And we can add 2 keys. We can change the length on top to 1 second. And change the second key, the rightmost key, to its time to 1 and its value to 1. And the leftmost key, the first key, the time to 0 and the value to 0. We can then connect this up into the lerp for the rotators and compile and save. Then we can connect this up after the play sound, compile and save. We can go ahead and test this out. We'll now notice our camera is slightly shaking. This is just a very simple camera shake that I used for Story Framework's main menu camera. But again, this is just to demonstrate an effect that can be applied to sort of add a sense of dynamics to your main menu screen. So that should cover just about the entire tutorial. Hopefully this was informative and should help you get started in developing your project using Story Framework and utilizing Story Framework's main menu. Enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.